Here we have it. The upper bracket is now leaning its way towards the final moments. Who will take home that prestigious last Victory Royale and go straight to the finals lobby? We'll just have to find out. We highlighted two duos there just shortly, but other duos, Reet, Ritual, you know, of course, the Peterbot and Pollo. Peterbot actually just ended his stream. He's looking to lock in right now. This might be the game that allows him, you know, to cut all distraction and really focus in on just the game right now. So with everything on the line right here, I think I might have spoken too soon. Peterbot is not in the feed. Could they have been contested at their drop? We'll just have to find out here.
That would be quite the mental blow to get 4 lobbies, uncon Grim Gate, and then in your last match of upper bracket day 1, potentially knocked. But seems as though, whatever the circumstance, Pollo, Peterbot, they've managed to scrape it back together. And Grim Gate
probably clipped out the sky, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much the direction that I was headed there. Is unfortunately getting shot down from above, but happens to the best of us. Kind of building on what you were just mentioning, though, all of NA, and not even just NA, a lot of the Fortnite community kind of just wondering, like, who's going to save NA? Who's going to contest Peterbot and Pollo? Turns out one of the best ways to deal with these two is just not challenge them outright, because they've been having a lot of issues with their surge without being able to collect the immediate fight surge strategy that they've been banking on so far.
Yeah, I think, you know, after game 1, it must have really set back his mental there. You know, they took that first fight. It did not go in their favor, and having to sit out a full lobby like that, they switched it up for game 2, played a little more passively, and then that didn't work, right? So all of a sudden now you're kind of left questioning yourself, second-guessing yourself, and just like that, things can start to go astray. But take a look at this. Quinn and Blaze from third-partying this fight in the previous game to now landing in this general area. Seems like they forced out Paco and Mixin and other duos, and now they're winning the drop there too, so well played for them. Here's Macwood by himself. Grand Glaciers continue to be a bit of a war zone here in the icy territory. Blake and Macwood haven't quite been super successful. They haven't been quite failures here nonetheless, but this is the last game. 68 points means you're inside the top 25. Do you really want to risk it all is the question here, and same can be said for Macwood. This is his top 25 game on the line right now for this upper bracket position if he cannot win this.
It's a chance, though, that Macwood's willing to bank on himself. Ozone not letting up either. These two are legitimately duking it out as much as possible here at Grand Glacier. But Macwood maybe recognizing the fact that, hey, the fallback, I need some materials, I need some resources. A great pump and a great thunderburst, not exactly, you know, the ideal situation, but Macwood's first one outside of the building here at Grand Glacier. He's going straight for the reboot van and bringing Blake back into this one. It's going to be a decent advantage potentially. Depends on what happens next, though, because Ozone could look to clip Blake out of the sky.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it makes sense for Ozone to back off here. He's in the 25th position. Macwood's duo is in the 24th. They are on the bubble, quite literally, of remaining inside of the upper bracket if they just continue to pace themselves for this game. So to me, it seems like it's definitely not worth the risk. A little too high. The pressure is on here for game 5. This is the last game. You know, traditionally these weekends look like 6 games of coverage, but this setting, this stage, it's a special one. Just got 5, so it's a little more prestigious.
The repercussions, though, for Ozone to not choose to close out that fight and continue that immediate engagement with Macwood, it now means that he's left to try and find an opening to bring Golden back. Reciprocal also gonna shut down Dreams here in our final lobby of upper bracket day 1. Can't celebrate for too long, though. M-Pen and Pump looking to encroach upon G-Money and Reciprocal's current position. And M-Pen from above. Good post. They're being smart about how they choose to play this one.
I was trying to figure out what I was listening to.
It's just
the audio
continuous
going
fire.
crazy for a second there. Reciprocal G Monster trying to get situated here. You can see very, very cautiously working their way through these buildings. No trust. They think Endpen and Pump are still nearby, but they're long gone now. Re and Ritual looking for trades here as they have prime positioning, and this is definitely a team that can do big things. We've seen them have their standout moments, but can it all come together here?
Reed and Ritual's primary problem so far today has just been not having a whole lot of surge to work with. I think the first lobby may have been the best one that they've been able to play through today in terms of how far along their surge strategy actually was, but everything else, it does seem as though some of our uncontested teams are having difficulties in terms of actually locking down enough damage to continue just focusing on playing out the lobby in terms of just ideal positioning, ideal rotations, because you have to risk exposing yourself as well to the rest of the lobby when you're opting to get that surge damage online.
So no Baka here. Seek and Dash already have elimination, so Pars is by himself. Inside the cone, gathering data. Might just be a matter of time here though for Pars if he just sits around and waits this one out. You're gonna find him.
Waterbending Mythic. Again,
you
just
turn on the wheels and just get through there.
He's getting there. He's making a dent. He's scratching at the surface now. Pars' builds. And Pars, he just wishes they'd go away. Yeah, Splat. Actually, though, it's a lot of hard mats, though, being invested from Pars just to try and keep Seek and Dash at bay. I think right now, Pars might have caught wind of the fact that there's another team potentially rotating into this current position. He might be hoping that Poppy could pull away the attention here, but the floor will finally give. Pars, no shield, will manage to get that small shield potion online though. But again, Seek, Dash, now splitting momentarily, two separate angles, two different walls that Pars is gonna attempt to hold up. And he is scurrying to try and create a gap, try and find some space, but it just doesn't have much to work with.
Yeah, all in all, Seek's tracking right now is just impeccable. He had 4 cones to choose from right there. Chose the right one still. But no, as all this is happening, another duo looks in and Pars has done exactly what he wanted to do. Stall this fight out just long enough for a savior, air quotes, if you will, to come in and potentially change this story around here. It's Poppy and it's Eclipse, but you know, now the damage has been done. Dash is now out.
Pars definitely accomplishing his mission of someone's going to find themselves in a fickle situation with me. But Poppy and Eclipse, they got exactly what they were looking for. An elimination, a little bit of surge damage, willing to fall back and Seek and Pars. I mean, these guys are statues. They have not moved for the last 20 seconds or so because they know that their fates are kind of just at the mercy of what Poppy and Eclipse decide they want to do next. And it does appear as though Poppy could potentially be looking to just maintain that line of sight. Pars wants to finish the fight.
Oh my gosh. If Pars actually ends up getting the victory out, that would just be all the salt in the wound for Seek right now. That was a monstrous tag. So close. Pars actually chickened out for a second there. You saw it. He was like, wait a second, I don't want to just go 50-50. He backed out the builds. But if he would have just committed there, he would have had the elimination as he caught Seek first.
If he found it once, he can do it again. Pars definitely out for a vengeance right now. And yeah, with Poppy, Eclipse still lurking somewhat nearby, they could look to pick up the pieces here. Seek gonna have to cancel that medkit. And Pars going for the immediate collapse. Just finally giving Seek a taste of his own medicine with that waterbending mythic. And a blue gatekeeper shotgun at that versus the purple pump, and Pars closes this one out.
Ooh.
Well-deserved gritty on him as well.
You know what? The points matter because at the end of the day, you want to maintain your top 25. I think they definitely have enough to do just that for Baka and Pars, but still putting a little respect on it. Playing, and honestly, outsmarting Seek and Dash there. You got to respect the strategy to just stick around, play the cones.
He might even have a real chance
To reboot, yeah. I mean,
exactly.
It's early in the game. It's only Zone 3.
And it really just depends on which direction, but it did seem as though Poppy and Eclipse, they were hanging around, but they weren't necessarily indicating, to me at least, that they had a full intention of trying to aggress again into where Pars was at. They definitely seemed a lot more content with just the damage that they initially received off that first elimination onto Dash. But yeah, if Pars is able to bring Baka back into this one, that could be a massive momentum swing, because you gotta imagine from Baka's perspective, he just watched his duo do the clutch of the century, right? So,
oh yeah,
at least for this last lobby, they want to make the most of it.
The other teams that are still live right now, Batman, Booga, Rapid, I saw them rotating not too far off from Peterbot and Pollo here, somewhere in the distance there, as we're just outside the underworld. You have Npendo 64 in the distance there. The base with my guy Pump. That's a scary, scary duo. They've been playing very consistently, tracking their way towards the right direction as far as overall points are concerned. Batman, Booga, and Rapid are, of course, I'd say on the bubble as well. They do need to continue to perform if they want to maintain their top 25 right now. 106 points is, it's solid, but it's not a full lock.
Meanwhile, teams like Bolts and Bryce, well, Bolts definitely getting a nice little hello from a team trying to utilize some waterbending mythics all the way over from, I think that's the ship at station. Could be a problem, but again, Bryce and Bolts, they kind of have the luxury. They know that they're locked for that 6th through 25th position with their performance so far today, but they just want the guaranteed in. And they've been so close in back-to-back lobbies here today, MDF. This could be the one, depending on how they choose to play it.
Peterbot and Pollo parked right underneath this Rift Island here. The Shadow and Zooks are going to be the first to secure cash up top. A lot of goodies are going to drop out of this, and Shadow could definitely use the extra heal, so it's a good spot for him to be in right now.
Capture point does seem like it'll be going in their favor. Pollo's got to be careful, though, gliding in with Peterbot. Waterbending Mythic, really easy to try and tag those players that are soaring through the skies off those rifts. And with the capture point now in favor of Shadow and Zooks, they'll have an exact idea of where Peterbot and Pollo are at. Peterbot, though, just trying to make use of that weapons mod bench. And it does seem as though capping mats could be the intention. Plenty of metal, but even more brick that can be provided by Rift Island could be part of the reason why Peterbot and Pollo are here, in fact, because if there's anywhere you can get max brick, it's definitely Rift Island.
Rift Island, you know, the brick there too just yields like way more than what feels like your average stone at times. Like, it's very, very lucrative to at least, you know, run by for a pit stop, especially when you need those mats. Macwood and Blake, though, saw what happened early on. It was a bit of a struggle. Macwood did just enough to push off the team that he was contested by, saves Blake, and now they're right back into a spot here, right back into the game, if you will. No movement in sight as everyone is based down. You see even players like Macwood holding that mythical water-bending item. Braids has got a sniper, right? Everyone's got what they need to do maximum damage at range.
This truly is the calm before the storm, essentially. Vert and Yumi gonna be some of the first to move. Braids missed the shot there. Was hoping to connect with that sniper. Any shield crack right now could be all it takes for a team to opt to collapse, opt to key, and immediately try and catapult themselves even further into the late game. But this is a lot of kind of surge towers that we've been seeing from all these teams here just about. Clix and Epic, on the other hand, though, they're stuck in an engagement with Trashy. They want to make sure that they're able to still rotate to zone easily, but they don't want to be receiving shots from behind in the process, because Clix definitely trying to hold on to these splashes as long as possible.
I like this, using the river here to go ahead and start getting their movement. You can see how important it is for Clix to make sure he keeps these dashes on check here. He's one in the chamber. They're gonna heal up, so to me that says they're gearing up for battle. And it's Reet in front of them. This is the second time we've seen Reet and Clix clash in what could be a full-on fight here, even with the distractions nearby, and it's because they're once again below the surge. This is a problem for Clix and Epic Whale. We knew it was going to be a problem coming in. They did good maintaining game 1 and 2, but since game 1 and game 2, it's like it's only gotten progressively worse. I don't know if it's the lobby adapting or if it's Clix and Epic Whale slowing down, you know, how early they've been deciding to fight, but this is risky, right, Taco? When you're starting to take these fights, and you're taking these fights amongst all these other players. Just look at the map.
Yeah, the primary problem is just the fact that this isn't an engagement that Clix and Epic want. It's one that they need.
Yep.
Because of the fact that they are just barely gonna claw their way above that damage threshold. But look at the situation it's left Clix in now, focused out by the entirety of the lobby, just trying to reunite with his duo Epic. Unfortunately though, Clix, his shield so low. He does have these small shield potions to work with, an extra med kit as well from Epic, but Clix gonna go ahead and throw that one down, recognizing the fact that he still has one more in tow just in case, but with only one splash left. Clix now gonna have to operate without max shield. And again, he's fighting his way through the lobby at this point. Still needs a little bit more surge. Catches Ritual off guard though. Ritual checking the other side of that wall. Caught lacking, in all honesty. And now Clix, Epic, that might just be the opening they need. Hazent's just trying to get this revive off onto his teammate, but barely pulls it off in time. Still, Clix, Epic, they want more. They need every single refresh they can find right now.
And that was just a great read by Epic Whale. He saw that there was loot on the right side of that box, so makes the call for Clix and him to focus that, you know, single player, because little did he know that was already the solo. So well played there, and he almost finds Ritual there too. So big plays, Clix secures the loot, and I mean, it puts them right back into the game here, at least momentarily. Now it's not looking too good, but give them a second, they should be able to bounce back. We know they have the heals here. Look, they're gonna go for the rotation first. This is so risky.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's a 2-tick.
Oh, he's committed.
Oh, it's even
my
worse.
gosh.
It's a 4.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, he might just make it though.
No way.
Epic.
Die, brother.
Just short,
Oh,
man. Tragic too when you really think about it, because look who did make it into zone. Saw Reet.
Yep.
Hanging out just barely on the edge, despite everything that Epic and Clix put him through. Unfortunate stuff there. It's gonna draw the end of Clix and Epic's upper bracket day 1. But you're asking me earlier, MDF, you know, what went wrong? And it is really just simple fact. Games 1 and 2, we saw Clix and Epic, they had those weapon bunker fights to kind of rely on for their surge damage. After everything after that, maybe it's lobby adaptability, but people just weren't fighting. People just weren't engaging them at that weapons bunker. And it just becomes all the more difficult because you're just taking the most forced situations instead of optimal engagements. And
Look at who's on hype. Peterbot and Pollo right now. Talk about optimal situations. They're trying to literally win the game. They're not doing that low ground stuff this game. They're up here on high ground early now, really trying to assert and position himself to be dominating. And they have 2 elims, which is great for the Storm Surge. You can see the damage reflecting really well here. What are the odds here? Taco, Peterbot and Pollo lock in right now.
This is the second time out of all 5 games today so far, BF, where they have looked to be in a relatively strong position to win it. But again, it's just so early on, and Pollo and Peterbot, it's win or lower bracket, essentially, at this point.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder if maybe some of the pressure was starting to extend from everyone around them. Everyone talking on socials like, yeah, Peterbot, Pollo, they're guaranteed for this. And before also, you know it...
Like I said, Peterbot was live as well, right? You have the pressure of 10,000 people watching you play live in his own chat with no delay. So, you know, now that he's fully offline, he's just focused up. I mean, we're seeing a much different level of play right here. So far consistent, seems smooth, seems steady, right? Which is really what you'd expect if they're not king, right? If they're W king, then sure, we can expect the shambles, we can expect you know, anything to happen. But when they're playing slow and steady game after game, you should see them in endgame relatively consistently. At least I would hope so.
Did see a promising moment there, though, for Kanata and Cooper. They're still able to try and keep things moving as much as the next, but Ritual, they've definitely managed to turn this one around, if even temporarily. And Kanata just saw him get that revive off of the Cooper. A massive shot there. And that is such a crucial refresh that could not have come at a better time for that team.
Great pickup there. New team on high ground right now, though, as everyone's kind of giving it up. No one is safe. The zone's pulling right back the way it came, more or less. So this is going to go off this little ledge, down the rivers, and then right back on up onto a bit of a landmass. So things are getting a little dicey here. Meanwhile, we jump in with Muzz and Paper, alive and relatively healthy. This is a good spot to be in. Paper is swapped over to his signature fit, so you see everyone looking to get in focus mode right now.
Really couldn't ask Paper to lock in any harder than what he is right now, next to Muzz as well. And these spaces that they're choosing to operate in as well, just breaking their way through some of these pre-existing builds. Muzz, small tag from behind. It's gonna be a reminder, can't get too comfortable with your spacing. Just look who's trailing behind, though. Baka Pars from the depths. Baka now gonna have to continue this run, though, without Pars. Last minute solo coming into an engagement, and it's just not good enough. Rapid gonna take full advantage, but Baka and Pars, for what it's worth, excellent attempt.
Reed by himself right now, finds Yuumi on the outside of the zone there. But, you know, eliminations are not enough. It's all or nothing, win or bust out of the game here. And let's see it, high ground broken down. Peterbot snatches it up, and they are playing for domination right here as we're inside a top 10, and they might just be the healthiest team alive. And not only that, take a look at the loadout here. They could do a lot of damage with this as they have options. I think Kanata and Cooper are alive just below them as well, so that's a dangerous, dangerous duo here. They're positioning themselves nearby. Muzz and Paper opted to play a little bit late storm here, trying to size up the high ground, but they might be a little too late, too gone. And it is Cooper and Kanata.
Cooper and Kanata as well, making sure to exchange the medallion of Siphon. Big moments there, though. Travesty for Muzz and Paper, but a huge come up there for Cooper and Kanata. And now, just trying to make sure they stay towards that front side of zone. They're gonna continue to play this ultimate low ground for the time being. They know they've got members behind them, but it's gonna come down to Peterbot and Pollo up above, whether they can be shot out from their perch, chopped momentarily, but can you really chop a team that has that aspect of agility? Kanata, Cooper, Kanata especially so low with his shields in comparison to Pollo and Peterbot.
They double shield up right here, so Pollo's basically making the call. Hey, look, max HP at all times. Let's do this right here, and that means they're committing to the fight here. They single out one, but Cooper with a great low ground tag here turns things around, and Peterbot with the 140 in the finish onto Cooper, and it might just be all or nothing here in the finish. Peterbot closes out strong in the end. Wow.
That was a showstopper finish, without a doubt, because Peterbot and Pollo had expended all of their options here today, MDF. They were absolute shambles as far as that leaderboard is concerned and had a guaranteed ticket to the lower bracket. But this Victory Royale has now just sent them straight to Grand Finals.
I just find it genuinely incredible how all of a sudden they have managed to really lock in and focus up. Look at this, plays for high ground, and then they just go back to the basics. They play a textbook. They didn't do anything flashy. They didn't, key any players. They just utilized the aspect of agility the way you were supposed to. Take high ground, get to the front side of zone, don't do anything fancy, and then in the end, show everyone what you are made of. And Peterbot just collapses onto Cooper, sees Kanata jump down, and the flick shot from the water was beautiful to close it out. And congratulations, Game 5 won by none other than Peterbot and Pollo. That is the kind of team that we expected to see in finals, and they do it when, I guess their backs were against the wall.
Yeah, and for Peterbot and Pollo especially, I mean, things were getting a little crazy there, MDF, but haters are my motivators at times, right? If the Peterbot mentality for today. So, I mean, big congrats to them for sure. But that's going to be it for us here today, Monster. Game number 1 through 5. Fantastic stuff here out of the upper bracket day 1. Excited to see just how everything shapes up on that leaderboard. So, for myself and MDF, thank you guys so much, and excited for day 2.